Shifting gears here, and we're just gonna be kind of jumping around to a lot of different comments here on YouTube, just so we can kind of talk about things. So we did a video. It was kind of our April Fool's video, but then we actually had a really sort of fun discussion on it about Moonboy, and actually got some interesting comments on here. And the topic was, did Cersei actually sleep with Moonboy? Because Tyrion says it to Jaime, but then Jaime reflects on it quite a bit, and then Moonboy actually pops up. So you can go check out that video on our YouTube, and we also did a podcast on it as well. But here we go. So some comments here. Anyone else think that Moonboy is actually from House Dayne? Keeping an eye on the council/king on behalf of the Dornish folk who raised Jon Snow for the first year of his life, knowing that he was actually secretly the royal Targaryen. Are we sure that Gerald Dane isn't Moonboy? Evidence points to him being of the night. So I was actually kind of I had never heard this theory, but we had more than one comment on it, and so I was like, okay, maybe this is something people are actually. I've never heard that theory.
Right.
Not,
okay,
I definitely don't think he's Gerald Dane, because
yeah, I
I
don't
feel like
either.
they would recognize him, but
Yeah.
Of House Dane, there are a lot of unnamed people from that house.
Well, it's interesting, and whatever George was going to do with House Dane and this whole gap that he was going to have and aging up Ned Dane, things that he might have been trying and shifted gears. Maybe Moonboy does somehow play into that, because we said he's athletic, he's acrobatic. He's not what you think when you think of a classic fool. Like, he's very strapping, very, they say he's got like this moon face, whatever, like round face or whatever. But still, he's doing backflips all over the place. I don't care what you say.
I think he's doing a lot more than that. I think he's doing Cersei while he's at it. But
I think I think he is. Well, and also to kind of catch her eye. The whole point of that conversation too, it was meant to be kind of a joke, but at the same time, it got serious because Jaime literally, and we talked about it with Khaleesi, Jaime actually thinks a lot about that whole situation. So I think he actually did. So he's at least attractive enough or whatever to catch Cersei's eye and be in her bed. I think it's like confirmed, she actually did hook up with Moonboy. Now, the Gerald Dane conversation, when we originally had this topic come up, I looked at all of the moon symbolism and imagery around it and the association to maybe the others and different things. But when I heard this Gerald Dane piece, I thought, okay, what about of the night? And that's why people are saying Dark Star, right? They're talking about Gerald Dane. But what about, like, Dawn is described as being, isn't it like some pale, milky,
right, pale pink,
right? Kind of coloring, and almost like maybe like a moon glow or something. It's very different than Valyrian steel, and so, but it's called Dawn, right? So it's not called
yes.
it's different. But I was trying to help make this work and sort of see some of the connections, but I don't know if he's connected to House Dane or not. I don't really see how that would work or where that's going to go, really.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, that's like, it just seems like a lot for me to say that he's of House Dane. I will say there is, and you can go watch our other video, or listen to the podcast where we did a full sort of breakdown on Moonboy. There's definitely something going on with him, even if it's just something where you can see Cersei's paranoia keep creeping in, because on more than one occasion, Moonboy is just like briefly mentioned in like a paragraph where it's like Cersei's doing something. She's like, Moonboy was there too. And then she immediately jumps to the Maggie the Frog, like, prophecy,
Yeah.
and sort of starts to think about that, which is kind of interesting. Like, he's pretty closely referenced on more than one occasion. Like, it's
Yeah.
in multiple chapters.
Yeah.
And then of course Jaime thinks about him a lot, and he actually sort of thinks, well, it's Kettle Black, right? Lancel, and then Moonboy, and then it just gets like shorter and shorter, and eventually he has a full-on dream of Moonboy banging Cersei. So,
Right.
I mean, I think there's something there with him. He has, I know he's not going to be a major character or anything, but I do think we will get like a resolution of his character. He's probably going to be killed in some sort of fashion during some big battle of King's Landing or something, or maybe you find out that Olenna Tyrell has a bunch of spies, and then you find out that Moonboy happens to be one of them.
Right.
But there's something going on with him, but I don't know that he's a Dane. I wouldn't say.
Yeah, but I think it wouldn't. Also, I mean, just because we don't really know who he would be reporting back to in House Dayne, or how that would further sort of a House Dayne kind of push. You know what I mean? Not saying that he's not. I mean, really, we have next to no evidence to go either way. Like to put him in any house, I don't really think.
Right.
So I get the whole of darkness and darkness being associated with the moon and all that kind of stuff too. That's really where you can go. But I feel like he's an informant for someone. Like he, not just himself, but like he is a lot of these people. Like the Kettle Blacks are originally, it's a Baelish connection, and Baelish has sort of those like adult individuals who he's paying, whereas like Varys is using orphan children and flea bottom and stuff like that. He's using his little birds. So different types of spy networks, and I feel like Moonboy might be more attached to someone like Baelish. You know, I hate to say that, but I mean, it might be the case, or just another great house in that area. So we'll have to kind of read and find out. But definitely going to be the undoing, I believe, of Cersei in a way, or even just Jaime. It's a big crack in his image of his sister, and it's a, as we were talking to Khaleesi, like a big shift for him, where he's like, yeah, I'm out, and he's thinking about Brienne, and she's thinking about him. It's really interesting to pay attention to what the characters think about, because whatever they're thinking about and dwelling on, like when we did Game of Thrones, and Ned is thinking about certain individuals quite a bit in the Tower of Joy and stuff like that, and Hallan Reed and those things. What they think about matters, you know? And it's like, so Jaime's thinking about Moonboy, thinking less of Cersei and more about Moonboy and what maybe happened, and
Right.
also then more about Brienne. And so there's this big shift away. So it's just could also be only that. That could be the only thing George is doing with it, but we don't really think so. We think there's definitely more going on.
Right.
So
Right. I'm just hoping for that. The only thing I'm hoping for is that Cersei and Moonboy only fans. So here that's just,
could you imagine? Jesus.
somebody just spat coffee out of their nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, work.